Good morning. My name's Jenny and I'm back with another week of Family Art Club. Today we're in our second week of our series Hitting the Books, and I want to share with you how to make one of my most favorite and also easiest books. All you need is a piece of paper and a pair of scissors. It's as easy as that. We are going to be making zines today. Now a zine is a little bit different than a traditional book in that it's a short book that's designed to be photocopied like a magazine and shared. When they first came out, they were super punk rock, and it was a way to share ideas that were maybe pretty radical or cool. But now you can use zines to explore a bunch of different things. You can share your ideas. You can do share a poem in a zine format. You can, sorry, my dog is still very sleepy this morning and she's snoring really loud. But you can do a poem, you can do like a how-to, like if there's something you like to do, like a favorite recipe or like a hobby that you have, you can create a really cool how-to zine, or you can use it to tell a story. So what you're gonna need is, like I said, one piece of paper. The bigger the paper you use, the bigger your finished zine is gonna be. I really like using ledger size paper, which is the 11 by 17. I didn't have any at my house today, so I'm just using copy paper, and I'm gonna make a small zine, but ledger or even legal size will make a larger zine that's a lot of times is easier to work with. So you can make a zine by folding your paper. So the first thing you're gonna do is fold it like a hamburger, or I've heard it also as folding it like a taco, however you wanna describe it. Remember, I start corner to corner, I get my corners lined up, I put my finger in the middle, and then I trace down and give myself some folds like that. With this one, because we are just making a book from one piece of paper, it helps to get it as accurate as possible with your folds, but it's not the end of the world. So I'm gonna take oh, here we go. You could use a glue stick, a quick stick, anything. I'm just gonna, a coin, I'm gonna go over my folds so that they're nice and crisp. Okay, so I've got one really crisp fold, and then I'm gonna open it back up, and I'm gonna do a hot dog style fold, a long ways fold, line up my corners, move my finger to the end, and then like that. That one wasn't perfect. I can go back and fix that, line it up, and re-fold it with my quick stick. Sometimes I don't get the first fold isn't like perfectly lined up, but then it's like easy enough to, you've already got a fold there, so it's like kind of easy to go and realign your corners and then kind of fix that fold. And then, so now we have 4 quadrants. We're looking at 4 quarters. And now we're going to do one more fold. This one is going to be our last one. We still want to line up our quarters or our corners as much as we can. I'm going to push down here, and then I'm going to use this to kind of give us a... I'm using a thicker cardstock just because this lighter, I'm out of white paper, and this lighter color that I have for my color groups, my color paper, this is the lightest color paper I have, and it just happens to be cardstock, which makes it's a little more difficult for me to fold right now. A regular copy weight paper will fold super easily. So then I've got 8 squares or rectangles. And you're like, this is all the folding, or almost all the folding we have to do. And you might be wondering, well, how do we turn this into a book? Well, I'm going to show you. So then I'm going to go back to my original taco or hamburger style fold. And I'm going to take my scissors. Remember, we're going to use a pair of scissors. And I'm actually going to cut from the middle. So I'm cutting on the fold to the first fold line. So I'm not going to cut it in half. I'm just going to cut it from the fold to the first fold line. Okay? And then you should have something like this. And now is a good time to go over all of your folds, and you can go forwards and backwards. So all the folds that you had folded one way originally, if you fold them back the other way, so that it's easier to fold them whichever way. Okay, so then you might have a piece of paper that wants to stand up like this. This is how you put your book together. So you take your fold where your cut is, you fold it over, it makes like a square with 2 little wings. You push it together like this, so it makes an X, and then you wrap it around. So then you have your cover, 1 spread, 2 spreads, and your 3rd spread. One of the things I really like to do with these is to think of it like your title, your beginning, your middle, and your end. And then you have your back cover. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to show you how to fold it again. So this can be the tricky part. I've got my piece of paper. I'm going to go like this, so that I've got the hole. Fold it over, so it's like a diamond or a square with wings. Push it together so it becomes like a plus sign. And then wrap like a hug. Like if I'm going to give, I've got my plus sign, and then I'm going to give this, it's going to hug the rest of your pages, and that will create your book. So once you've created your zine, a lot of times because it's like tricky to fold, I actually like folding my zine first and then adding my decorations or my content. So one of the things I like to do, you can go back and watch my video on foam printing, because you could do some foam printing right onto your pages like this. Or you can collage into the pages. The only thing is when you're collaging, you want to fold it flat like this, which is another way I love these zines, is because you don't have to worry about a binding. You can just fold them flat and you have that whole area to work with. When you're collaging, I really love collaging with tissue paper on these zines. But you could do tissue paper, you could do some kind of flat spangles, you could do other printed or patterned paper, or just even other copy paper, colored paper to collage on. You can also, I mean, there's really no limit to what you can do, because at this point it's just paper. So anything that you would collage with, you could do magazines, you can draw with a quick stick or with a marker, or you can do some oil pastels. The oil pastels, they will kind of have the tendency to smudge though. So one of the things I like to do is things that are like a quick stick or a marker or collage. Like I'll collage the background and then draw on top. That's a great thing, just so you don't really have to worry about smudging. Because once everything is dry, you can go on to your next, you can just turn the page and do the next one. So like I said, I really love doing beginning, middle, and end. I think it's a really succinct way to tell a story. You could also do like one action, like if you're throwing a ball and you chase the ball from page to page and see where it goes. Because these are really brief, short stories, I encourage people to tell a brief, short story, because it's hard to get a really detailed story in just a few pages. So that's why I really like to focus on shapes and colors and a simple movement or trajectory and plot. One of the things that's also great is once you have your book going one way, you've completed it. Here, I will draw on here so that I can tell where I've been. Just did a little bit of green quick stick so I can see my cover. You can open it back up and do it the other way. So I've got that. And then you have a whole nother book. Then you've got, see, my quick stick went away because it's folded inside. So you get a double-sided kind of cool zine. So you could start with one zine and then do a secret story on the inside. So there's my quick stick again. Sometimes it's a little fiddly, but you can, once you get used to it, you're like, oh, easy. There you go. Went back from the back to the front. Easy as that. All right, guys. Well, that is my really cool, easy zine fold. Like I said, you can make a small one. When you work with bigger paper, your zine will be larger. So you can work with any size paper and you'll still be able to do this awesome zine fold. So have fun, make something cool, And I will see you all next week where we do our next series of bookmaking. We're going to make flip-flop books. So I'll see you next week. Have a great one.